All right, so this is going to be one of the more unpleasant and really difficult podcasts that we will be presenting, which is talking about the death, the assassination of our friend, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And this happened on Wednesday, just this morning, actually, and such frightful news. I couldn't believe I was reading it. And when I heard he had been shot, I assumed that maybe he got shot in the arm. But indeed, he had been killed, and it really is very painful. Charlie was a friend.
Yeah.
We had been texting quite a bit, and I had the honor of being on his show, his podcast, for a full hour. It was really nice. We saw eye to eye on so many things, in particular the dangers of godlessness. That was his thing as well as it is mine. He felt that atheism, godlessness in particular, was a real force to fight. And that's why he wanted me on his show.
Yeah.
He understood about again, this is not about touting me, by the way. I really want to make that clear.
Right.
This is the reason why we were friends.
Yeah.
We had so much in common. And I knew him from years and years ago when he was just starting off. And his voice was so good, and he was very passionate about pursuing things. And he found this niche of actually just speaking to college students and actually getting the word out and challenging them.
Yeah.
And saying, look, are you really sure about what you think? And he was turning people's heads around when it came to their liberalism. And suddenly they were out of the echo chamber. They just didn't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
And if you recall, I don't know if you know this, but Charlie, when he started, very quickly thereafter, he ended up with what's her name, Candace Owens.
Yeah, he did.
And back at a time when she was still kind of like pushing back against the assumptions about black people, and that we need to not always think that they're liberal, and that conservatism is actually good for black people, and that's what she was doing. So they would go together for a long time. At the end of the day, she went nuts, but he continued on with his great voice, and he got even more noticed and more popular, and people resonated with him. Look, the fact is, we don't yet know the killer, but we do know that the killer wanted him dead.
Yeah.
There was a reason why he shot him. He didn't want to shoot him because he loved Charlie Kirk. He obviously hated him for what he had to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a big shock right now, even without the killer in custody, to say that this guy wanted to silence Charlie Kirk. Why did he want to silence Charlie Kirk? Because he was too influential.
Yeah.
He was talking about God and Christianity and Judaism and family and children and the necessity of all those things. Here's a guy that was resonating so well with younger people in particular, but really all of America. I mean, I'm an older guy, and he resonated with me.
Yeah.
I think the confidence with which he spoke, the enthusiasm with which he spoke, the kindness with which he spoke, never swore. I don't know if he even said the word damn, which would be fine, but he certainly didn't say those other words. And it just goes to show that people just couldn't stand this idea.
Yeah.
Because Charlie represented order and structure and the advance of civilization. And whoever this monster was who killed him, and for that matter, many of those who are against Charlie Kirk, they want the destruction of civilization.
Yeah.
It's really chaos and civilization. That's really the battle that we're fighting with. And they wanted to destroy him because they figured, well, if we get rid of Charlie Kirk, that will knock out a big player in the conservative movement. Well, I got something for you, buddy. Things are going to be more conservative in the future. People are beginning to see that their team are fighting dirty.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to notice. It's a conversion moment. We always talk about conversion moments. I think a lot of people will realize, whoa, my team has gone too far. Now, I was just on News Nation recently. I had so many we call them hits today. KNX, News Nation, Newsmax, Fox will eventually come. And I was paired with this woman, a liberal.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm a liberal, but I'm really upset about this. And, we are the party of peace. And then she said, and I hate the blowback that this is going to create. And people are going to say that we're violent when we're not. And like, whoa. This reminds me of whenever there's a terrorist attack, right? the first thing that the media says, at least, is, well, we're very concerned about the blowback.
Yeah.
Against the Muslims. Never mind those victims who have just been slaughtered or whatever, burned alive or whatever. We're worried about how people react to the Muslim community. Let's be very concerned for them.
Right.
Like, oh, okay. You don't say that about Israelis when, with the blowback against Israelis. It's really bizarre to me how they're always ready to protect Muslims. And now this woman was ready to protect the liberals.
Yeah.
Because she foresaw correctly that there would be blowback, and there should be.
Oh, yeah.
So look, I mean, the fact is that there's been this world of hate toward Charlie, and for that matter, to the conservative voice.
Right.
They're seeing that things are going really awry for them, and they've got to put a stop to this.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Now, obviously, I don't think that this gunman was put up by the great establishment of the Democrat Party. Who knows? I don't know. Right. But we don't have the evidence of that right now. It would be fair to say this guy is clearly a crazy person. Now, to hear it, however, from some other people, from MSNBC in particular, take a listen to what this one woman had to say. Actually, she had a guest on MSNBC.
Yeah.
And here's the way they played it.
Again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So this guy, this commentator, I guess he's a guest on MSNBC, is saying, well, we have no idea if maybe he was just, shooting a celebration, from 200 yards away with a sniper rifle. Let's celebrate.
Because that's something Americans do in
that's
college
what
campuses.
We do.
Yeah.
That's their vision of conservatives and how we respond to everything. When we like something, we shoot people, right? With an example of none.
Yeah.
Right? So this is absurd. I mean, I can't believe they let this. And it's one thing for him to say this nonsense, but the host actually said, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, God.
So, be very careful with these people when it gets so absurd. But then you have this other guy who also commented on this whole phenomenon.
Yeah.
And he says that Charlie, well, he had it coming.
Which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Okay, so you just heard this nut job on MSNBC saying, well, you can't say these awful things and not expect awful things to happen back at you. In other words, he got what he deserved.
Yep.
And then the host of the show doesn't push back on him other than to say, we're getting news that he did get shot and more information about Charlie Kirk's apparent death. But you would think that she would say, if she were actually listening, look, we don't tolerate that. I mean, we're in America. We're allowed to say things that other people don't agree with. So, they never think about the reverse. Like, you understand that we find a lot of things that you say are extremely contemptible, but we don't shoot you.
Right.
Like, I don't like what Mamdani has to say. Okay. But I have a feeling he's not going to be assassinated.
Right.
Okay. I want him voted out. I don't want anyone to vote for him in either, for that matter. I want people to see the stupidity of his ideas, and I want to aggressively say how badly his ideas would affect New York City. But other than that, I mean, that's all we can do.
Yeah.
This is the whole concept of America, the whole concept of the First Amendment. But they don't get that.
Or you're actually failing to do them justice because you were way too specific. He says bad things, and bad things happen. You actually had a specific, Mandami says these things that I disagree with for these reasons.
Right.
That's not the liberal way.
You're so right. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're really right. Look, it's interesting to see the commentary from some of the lefties out there. Here is Obama, tweeting on Twitter. He says the right thing, We don't yet know what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy.
Yeah.
Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife, Erica, and their 2 young children. All right, I want to take this apart. Yeah, you do know what motivated
Right.
the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. Yeah. It was you.
Yeah.
Okay? You motivated him. Your hatred of the conservative movement, your encouragement of the race wars, your insistence that conservatives are, clinging to their guns and God, right?
Yep.
Remember that? Among many other things that he said that were clearly contemptuous of the conservative movement and expressed great violence in his rhetoric.
Yeah.
And that, of course, sparked others that we'll talk about in a moment. But I want to stick with Obama for the time being. And then he says it has no place in our democracy. Well, I agree with that, but you're saying, yeah, it doesn't have it, but it does.
Yeah.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Because, Trump is going to be ushering in a new era of fascism, and we're not going to have America anymore. This could be the very end of our democracy. We've heard this in the past 3 election cycles alone.
Yeah.
Why would you think that nut jobs out there wouldn't listen to that and say, I can be a hero.
Yeah.
I can save the democracy.
Right.
And then you're surprised? How could this happen? You say.
Yeah.
Next, he says, Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight. No, you won't.
No.
Nobody believes that.
They don't pray.
They don't pray for one thing. And if they did, they wouldn't be Michelle and Barack Obama.
Yeah. It'd be for golden calves. It would be for more money,
Exactly.
more power, whatever they want.
And they certainly wouldn't be praying for his wife, Erica, or their 2 young children.
Oh, that's the most heartbreaking thing.
It really is. So please spare me the BS. All right? Anyway, some responses back from him. And none of them are good.
Yeah.
We know exactly what effing motivated them. You started a race war in America. Your party called conservatives Nazis and fascists. Your party has blood on it. Okay, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was the first response. You were a member of the this is another one. Cernovich is his tagline.
Said this?
Cernovich. You were a member of the Weather Underground, a domestic terrorist organization that firebombed targets across the country. Or maybe you weren't a member, but only an admirer as you worked closely with its leader, Bill Ayers. Yes, that's true too.
That is.
Let's see. We know exactly what sparked this. Years of your division, race baiting, and demonizing conservatives. You lit the fire, and now America's bleeding because of it. I don't know if that's the metaphor works for that, but I get his gist.
Yeah.
Don't pretend your hands are clean. Yes, exactly right. Bella says, you divided America. Torchy says, shut your sorry mouth. You are insignificant now. What happened to your chef?
I agree.
Yeah.
We really need justice for the chef, but yeah. Yeah.
SYFM, which I think I know what it means.
Yeah.
The Rabbit says, you don't know what motivated him? We are not Nazis. We are not white supremacists. We are not fascists. We are not racist. We are not bigots. We are not a threat to democracy. We are the American people, and we love our country. Your rhetoric is what created this environment. Yeah, damn straight. And then there's a picture, old-timey picture of John Wilkes Booth in the theater shooting Abraham Lincoln in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And the title says, every time Democrats don't get their way, they get dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah, you think so. Yes, spot on.
Yeah.
Look, and this is not the first time. So we asked ChatGPT about this to gather a list of threats made by Democrats against Republicans one way or the other.
Yeah.
And at first it said, let's keep it civil. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I argued with ChatGPT and I said, wait a minute, I want a list of these things. Why are you hiding this information from me? I wanted examples of how Democrats have expressed hostile words towards a Republican. And then finally, ChatGPT said, I understand. You're asking for actual quotes and video examples. Yeah, that's what I was asking for.
It relents?
Yeah, it
I
relented.
didn't know you could actually argue and it would give in.
Yeah, you definitely can.
I thought ChatGPT had a strong will. Manly ChatGPT.
Manly like Russian woman.
Not weak will.
So they said, they quoted correctly. Maxine Waters in 2018
Yep.
At a rally in L.A., Representative Maxine Waters said, if you see talking about conservatives, if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere. Okay? Now, I don't think it does justice for me to just say that.
Yeah.
So here's the video.
Let's stay the course. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
Then there's the example of Sarah Huckabee Sanders being kicked out of a restaurant because they didn't want her to be there and they were just furious with her.
Right.
This doesn't happen in reverse, people.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
Okay. And we would hear about it. That's the great thing, is if it did happen, we would hear about it all day long. No, all month long. No, all year long.
They would make statues of it.
That's right. Yes, the
They
suffering.
would bow down to it.
The suffering Democrat who was kicked out of the restaurant. So that's another example. Then there's Chuck Schumer, who said when he was angry about the abortion decision. So I believe that was back in 2022. Yeah. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer addressed Justices Gorsuch and Kavanaugh directly.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Yeah.
Okay? And those remarks were captured on video. Yes. So that was obviously a threat to the judiciary. And then, of course, they stalked him, Kavanaugh in particular.
Yeah.
And they went in front of their houses and somehow they, what do you call it, doxed. Right?
Yeah.
They found out his address and they started protesting in front. This is a very violent time right now.
And then the police let it happen with Kavanaugh.
Yes.
They didn't disperse
Yes.
it. They didn't January 6th all the people. They just, okay, it's okay if it happens to a Democrat. We're fine with that.
Bingo.
It's Virginia.
Bingo. Let's see if I have the... Yeah, no. Then there's the other one with your buddy Tim Walz, right? He said in 2024 in a campaign speech, he said that he warned about extremist MAGA Republicans and framing them as a threat to democracy itself. Okay. And then recently he said, I think we even captured something that he said on video last week.
Right, yeah.
What was that? Do
A
you
week
remember?
or two where he talks, I forget exactly what he was saying, but it was just,
It was pretty awful. So he again, very violent language.
Yeah.
And then they're surprised that we're calling them out on it.
Right.
Okay. So look, they seem to not mind putting it out there that Republicans are fascists. They're a threat to democracy. This is the beginning of a dictatorship. Women are not going to have any control over their bodies. We've got to do something about this. This may be the last election that you'll ever face. I think Michelle Obama said that at some point as well. There's ample stuff and these are regular people.
Yeah.
They're not people that have, I'm sorry, these are regular politicians. These are not ordinary Joes and Janes that are speaking their minds on Twitter.
Yeah.
These are not just nut jobs.
Yeah.
These are people that are supposed to be pillars of their community. It's despicable.
And they keep on saying that this could be the last election. Donald Trump, who was elected before, had office and left, might not leave this time.
This time.
He left the last time, but this time he might not leave.
I know.
And if it is true what they're saying, this rhetoric, that Trump is Hitler, which they've been saying, J.D. Vance is Hitler, why wouldn't you fight back? Wouldn't that be the most reasonable, logical thing to do? Everyone's like, I'd go back and shoot a baby Hitler. Like, you'd shoot a baby. None of them would. But like...
If you felt that obsessed about the Republicans being fascists and you want to save democracy against dictatorships, then you're a hero. If you shoot that horrible man, whether it's Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump for that matter, then you're a hero. You will be praised forever.
Right.
I mean, after Trump was almost killed, twice as it turned out, the liberal Twitter sphere said the most common phrase was, "What? He missed?"
Yes.
Right? So meaning, like, instead of saying, "This is horrible, we can't do this, we need to fight with the battle of ideas, we don't like what Trump has to say, we just need to galvanize better." But no, they're very supportive of this.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that might actually be a criminal matter. I don't know. After the fact, it could be, but it's inciting,
Yeah.
right? Maybe it should be, but it apparently wasn't. A lot of people were not addressed.
The other way, it probably would be, but
Yeah. And here's what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC as you affectionately call her, said about Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley for their role in the Capitol insurrection. "You will never be president. You will never command the respect of this country. Turn in your pin and get out." Okay. Now, there's also some other threatening language that she had said. And then you have Elizabeth Warren. She talked about this. Oh, no. AOC also said there is a crisis of legitimacy in the Supreme Court and called them compromised by wealthy extreme influences. So they've been captured and corrupted by money and extremism.
Yeah.
So maybe you should get rid of them.
Yeah.
That was the implication. So then we've got the Steve Scalise attack and the other people who were actually killed, I believe, during that Republican softball game. And the guy specifically wanted to know, are these the Republicans? Yes, they are. Okay, boom. And they shot so many of them. I think a couple of them died, and Steve Scalise almost died.
Yeah.
Thank God he survived that. But what a horrific time to have lived. And look, you may say this is sporadic. This happens once in a while. It's the actions of a madman. Yes, I agree. But you have to understand that you are lighting a fuse next to a bunch of oily rags.
Yeah.
Okay? How about that for a metaphor?
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't light the fuse at all. Maybe you understand that this is extremely toxic language that may very well incite people to do some horrific things like what we saw today.
Right.
Now, I was on News Nation. I believe it was News. I'm getting confused now. And they were talking about how inappropriate it was to liken what happened today to Charlie Kirk to what happened to Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968. And I thought, why is that so preposterous?
Yeah.
Well, because Martin Luther King was presumably on the liberal side, or the anti-racist side, and Charlie Kirk was on the pro-America side. Why is Charlie Kirk's death less significant than Martin Luther King Jr.'s death?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, Martin Luther King Jr. was a great man.
Right.
He said and did incredible things, and he was very courageous, although I think Rosa Parks was much more courageous.
Yeah.
I really believe that she really took it on the chin. She had no sense of any support from anybody.
Right.
She got the support, but Martin Luther King really glommed off of her notoriety.
He had a whole entire congregation following.
Yeah, he knew he was safe.
Right.
And then, of course, he was killed, and that was tragic. But Charlie Kirk didn't engage in plagiarism. No. Charlie Kirk wasn't a philanderer.
No.
And Charlie Kirk spoke for American values and freedom and love of God. Why is that somehow less significant than what Martin Luther King was saying?
Actually, I could see how it could be, to answer your question, is because Charlie Kirk was doing what the liberals always say to do and never do, having a conversation, convincing the other person of the right side with words.
Yeah.
They can do protests, they can do riots, and they can do exactly what they did to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
But they can't convince anybody with words because they don't have the words. They don't have the truth on their side.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I think, look, let me just speak a little to why I think Charlie Kirk was killed.
Yeah.
He was such an important figure in the conservative movement. He was a threat to liberals that they just couldn't abide.
Yeah.
They were looking in the mirror and they saw how ugly they were themselves, liberals. Charlie Kirk exposed that.
Yeah.
And they could not abide for that as well. It was a battle between chaos and civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've got, on the one hand, Charlie Kirk saying his love for God and Jesus, Christianity, and then love of Judaism as well, love of America, love of all things Western values, love of family, love of having children, encouraging people to have children and raising them with God in their lives.
Yeah.
It could not get more wholesome than Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And he was succeeding. And I think he succeeded because he made conservatism accessible to a huge new generation of people. He gave people permission to be conservative and to be excited about conservatism. He gave them with the basic ammunition, and I don't mean that in a literal sense, I mean in a figurative sense. From a debate point of view, he gave them talking points that suddenly made sense.
Yeah.
You cannot have a society without God. You cannot have a socialist society and expect it to succeed. You just can't.
Right.
And here we are. And that's what they couldn't stand. Charlie was a lover of Israel as well. I don't know if you know this, how much he admired the Jews and Israel itself.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I know about him, and maybe you don't know, and a lot of our listeners may not know, look, I spoke to him at great length. He was a big supporter of Shabbat, meaning that he actually observed Shabbat himself.
That is a wonderful thing to do. It really is everyone should do it in spite of your religion.
In spite.
Yeah.
Just as a day of relaxation, it recharges you. But no, he actually dedicated himself to studying God during that Shabbat. And by the way, he did the Jewish Shabbat from Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown.
That's nice.
And he would have challah, he would have a Shabbat dinner. He would do, you would think, other than his being vocally Christian, that, if you squinted your eyes enough, you might think that he was Jewish.
Yeah.
At least on Shabbat.
Right.
And he wouldn't take any phone calls, wouldn't do anything electronic, wouldn't turn on any lights, like a real Orthodox Jew.
Right.
And I loved that about him.
Yeah.
And he loved. He said he actually was writing a book about the beauty of Shabbat. I think.
Really?
I don't know if that he finished it, but he was about to finish it. I mean, that was his work right now.
Oh man.
So, God willing, somehow it gets finished and it gets published, because I think it's a worthy project.
Yeah.
But God bless him for that. So anyway, at one point he got maligned for commenting about Israel.
Yeah.
Having a question or two about Israel, about the tactics of the Gaza war. He loves Israel. He wants Israel to win. And he got attacked by some nut jobs. I don't know if they're on the right or the left, but they called him anti-Israel. They said that he was anti-Semitic all of a sudden. And he got a lot of flack for a minute or two. I think it was pursuant to a co-interview with Megyn Kelly, who is, Megyn Kelly, I like her, I respect her, but I think she's not very informed when it comes to Israel.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk was. Anyway, he got a lot of flack for this. And I felt the heat for him. And I wrote to him, I texted him, and I said, listen, Charlie, I know you deeply. You do not have the slightest bone of anti-Israelism or anti-Semitism in you. On the contrary, you love Jews, you love Israel, and thank you so much for it. These are vocal but very small idiots. The vast majority of us know that you have our back.
Right.
We are so thankful to you, and I just want you to know that. And he said, thank you so much for that. I really need to hear that. You are a breath of fresh air. God bless you for saying that. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the last thing. And then I wrote back Shabbat Shalom to him. And that's the last we ever texted to each other. That was only a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, God. That's the last.
It gives me chills. But I'm pleased that those were the last words we could exchange. Shabbat Shalom indeed, which means, peace in the Shabbat.
Yeah.
That's what it means. And I just love this man. He was a real gift. May we have more of them in the future, but there will be. There will be. We had Andrew Breitbart, who died of a heart attack, and he wasn't assassinated, but he died. And now we have Charlie Kirk. And now in the future, we'll have more. We have Ben Shapiro. Yeah. He's a blessing. And we'll have others. There are others that are coming up the ranks. They won't be able to silence us.
Right.
Now, I was asked also on Newsmax, I believe, what do you think the effect of this will be for other conservative pundits like you, Barak?
Right.
Will this cause you to be more mindful and take more measured security steps, or, be careful what you say? And I said, whoa. I do not operate in fear.
Right.
Okay. We are not going to live like that. If we did, then the gunman wins.
Right.
That's exactly what he wants.
That is his objective. Yeah.
So I ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if it's a huge crowd like Charlie Kirk commands, I don't have that sort of command. I have a decent following. I'm very proud of it, and it's growing every week, but it's nowhere close to what Charlie Kirk had.
Right.
I will say, however, if that were the case, I would try to take some more security measures, because you've got some nuts out there. Even if they don't take a shot at you with a gun, you might very well get hit with, I don't know, a rock or an egg or something. I mean, it could be that, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the only thing I would say to that. But that's exactly what they wanted. It was interesting to see how the commentator actually expected me to say, well, maybe we'll pull back. Because, it's our rhetoric. But isn't this victim blaming, right? That it's just like that schmuck on MSNBC said, you say awful things, and awful things will happen to you.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, to MSNBC's credit, they did denounce that guy later on very quickly. Yeah,
that is
did.
actually really nice.
Yeah. So I was pleased about that.
Yeah.
And they said that we strongly condemn this. They basically said he's not going to be invited again. So kudos to MSNBC. But there's a sense that, you did kind of bring it on yourself with your conservative ways. Why couldn't you be more moderate? What are you talking about? You guys are the crazy ones.
Right.
You're the ones saying these absolutely insane ideas. You're the ones saying that Trump is the end of civilization as we know it.
Right.
And we're the ones who are supposed to reel it back in?
Right.
How dare you? Really, I mean, it's beyond breathtaking.
Right.
Now, I want to take another moment. We talked before offline about whether this sharpshooter, maybe he was doing it because he was celebrating.
Yeah.
Okay, what an idiotic comment. Do people actually listen to themselves? Like, I'm going to celebrate by going on top of a roof and with a scope and shoot somebody from 200 yards. He'll appreciate my celebration.
Yeah, especially the technical knowledge and training to be able to get to that level. We're talking months.
Of course.
At the very least, months to be able to make that shot. This was a trained person.
Right.
A technician. Yeah.
Well, look, they want to, there's going to be talking points about this.
Right.
Now, you brought up a great point offline saying that that they've received the talking points when they all start saying similar phrases.
Right.
Right? Just like with the illegal border crisis, right? They said a manufactured crisis.
Right.
They said it over and over again. Okay, you got the talking points memo. I got it.
Yeah.
So when you hear it repeated over and over again, then you know that they've been told what to say.
Like Abrego, the Maryland father. No, he's an illegal immigrant and he's a gangster.
Yes, this is how we are going to spew this out to the American people so they can digest it and repeat what we're saying over and over again. So I'm not surprised that they're starting to say it already. They can't abide. Yeah. Now, I know that this is going to turn against us somehow. Yeah. You know how I know?
How?
Because the worst thing that could have possibly happened to any people happened to my people in Israel.
Yeah.
It was called October 7.
Yeah.
The most horrific stuff you can imagine. And they videoed their monstrosity and uploaded it.
They didn't make it a secret.
They were proud of it.
There were no ambiguities there.
And yet somehow they turned it on the Israelis.
Yeah.
Maybe you deserved it,
Yeah.
Israel. Maybe if you weren't such a horrific, occupying, apartheid nation that routinely engages in genocide, routinely, mind you, they wouldn't be so outraged. Yes.
Yeah.
Scale it back, Israel.
Yeah.
And you deserve what you got.
Always.
Right? So if that can happen with what happened to Israel, how much easier it will be for the libs to twist this moment and to say, this is nothing. We've been attacked and maligned. We've been oppressed for hundreds of years. You conservatives have preferred your white ways, your elitist ways, your privileged ways, and that will be the talking point. They'll somehow turn it around. What do you think?
I think the one that I've already heard and that I'm most frustrated about is, both sides need to turn down the rhetoric. Both sides are violent. It's no, the Black Lives Matter, riot, that was horribly violent and oddly anti-Semitic. Jan 6, grandmothers waiting in line. It's not, the rhetoric of our side is not in any way close to the rhetoric of their side.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me the most is they take into account, Charlie Kirk is so radical. No, you compare what Charlie Kirk is saying from what a conservative says from 1980. It's pretty consistent.
Yep.
You can you compare what a liberal is saying now. Men can just magically turn into women. Trans, we don't know what trans is compared to 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s.
Or
liberal.
Kennedy in 1960.
Yeah. There's going to be no connection.
No connection. John Kennedy, were he to return somehow, and he would see what his Democrat Party has become, he would be shocked.
Yeah.
I would say he would be even appalled.
Oh, yeah.
About it. What men and women thing? What's that? Men can go into a women's locker room. Are you nuts? What's the matter with you guys?
Yeah.
Wait, you want socialism? Where did you get that?
Right.
We've been trying to destroy socialism in Vietnam and South and Korea and of course in China as well, Cuba. Failures though they may be. Bay of Pigs is a classic example. Yeah. These guys were the enemies, and now you're embracing their ideology. So you're right. We have been very consistent. You take Barry Goldwater.
Right, yeah.
For that matter, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't see anything in what they are saying, what they said in the past, and take what Charlie Kirk said and said there's virtually no difference.
No.
You know why? Because we're conservative. We conserve the values of the past.
Right.
They are not anchored to anything.
No.
Except whatever feels good for the moment. And what feels good for the moment is sexing up, boozing it up, drugging it up, stealing it up.
Yeah.
You name it, they'll do it. And look, this culture thinks that some killing is appropriate.
They do.
Luigi Mangione.
Completely.
Right? They actually have a bill now in California that they named after Luigi Mangione. Almost like a Robin Hood sort of thing.
Oh,
right?
So it's not a bad thing?
No, not a bad thing.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a good thing. This thing. I have to dig more deeply into it. But
right.
The truth, one thing we do know is that people romanticize Luigi Mangione.
Completely.
That he's a good guy somehow, that he did something wonderful. And yes, maybe we wouldn't actually kill the insurance carrier, but the guy, the CEO, but he kind of had it coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't blame Luigi for this. That's their tone.
Yeah.
So everything is subjective.
Completely.
They're okay with some kinds of killings, and that's one example of many.
Yeah.
And then you have the example of this poor woman who was killed in Charlotte, North Carolina on the subway. You've heard about this. And I want to talk about that briefly.
Yeah.
Because it's another example of a killing, not that they think is appropriate, but they think is not such a big deal.
Right.
Okay, it's not such a big deal. And they will twist it. And I'll tell you how they've twisted it in a second. But more importantly, this woman, we have the video. It's very clear.
Yeah.
And she goes into a subway, sits down in front of this guy who's kind of like rocking back and forth a little bit, got a hoodie on and such. I wouldn't sit next to that guy.
No.
Okay. I've got a swivel head thing. But she did. And she sat down right in front of him. And you know what you can't say about her?
What?
Is that she's a racist.
No.
Lost in all this conversation is this white girl from Ukraine, didn't have an ounce of racism in her. She sat down next to this guy, and then she got killed. Okay? And I'm not bringing up the fact that he's black. I'm bringing up the fact that he looks like a crazy person.
Right.
I would just get a weird vibe from this guy. He doesn't look like a normal, healthy human being. He looks mentally unstable.
Right.
Putting aside the blackness of his skin, he just looks out there.
Yeah.
But she sat down there and got killed.
Yeah.
She to the moment of her death, she had no clue that this was about to happen to her.
Yeah.
So, how did this get twisted on her? The story. Suddenly, it's about how we're the racist for bringing it up, for noting that this person killed her. We don't say a black man killed her.
Yeah.
We do notice that if it was reversed and it was a white man killing a black girl,
Oh, yeah.
we'd be speaking about it nonstop. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is true.
Yeah.
And that they're just, scuttling the story quickly. And now it'll be forever scuttled
Right.
because of the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. But that's the way of the left.
That actually, to toot my own horn or to say that I had the tragic thought, I was even going to post this last night, but I thought, okay, what are they going to do? What horrific event are they going to do to take our eyes off this girl who got stabbed in a train? I actually had that thought last night.
Yeah.
And then I got my answer.
It certainly has the effect. I don't know if it was
100%,
intended, but it
yeah.
certainly has the effect. It's going to nudge out all other news that preceded it at the
Right.
very least. And that's, good in some ways and some particular stories and bad in many other ways, like the story that we just talked about, that Russian girl.
And the thing, just to add to it if I can, is the reason why it matters that he is black is because he was let out of prison, given soft terms, given no bail, only because he was black.
Right.
If a white person would have committed that same crimes with those same judges, they would have been put in prison. They would have had high bail. So it does matter that he's black because of the way the justice system got him to this place right now.
Interesting. That's an interesting point. Look, I mean, the fact is that there's a lot of effort to just walk this guy away or brush him to the side.
Right.
Going to the George Floyd killing. What's it? Chauvin is the police
Derek
officer.
Chauvin, yeah.
Yeah. So had Derek Chauvin been black, it would have been a very different story.
Yeah.
There was no racism involved, as it turns out, because during the trial, the word racism didn't even come up.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't find anything on Derek Chauvin in that department. But because he was white, it was automatically assumed. That's why all the riots happened, and many people died as a result of it.
Yeah.
That's just the way of the world. Now, if you point these things out, you have to see certain patterns in life. You see the bizarre higher proportion of transgenders involved in criminal actions, particularly the serial killings.
Yeah.
Like, for example, what happened in Minnesota.
Oh, God.
And then what happened previously in Tennessee. These were transgender, mentally unstable people.
Yeah.
Not because they're transgender, but rather their mental instability led them to their transgenderism, and among many other things. It's rare that they're just, transgender. There's something else going on in their heads,
Yeah.
and they have to express some sort of hatred one way or the other, and that's how they did it. That's also an example of how they've been telling Christians that they're evil people. There's no place in this.
Yeah.
What's his name? Tim Kaine just recently announced that there is no place in schools to teach about God, and that any effort to claim that your rights come from God is ridiculous.
He said that?
He actually said the Creator, which is like this. And by the way, this is a Harvard Law grad. Do you know that? You would think he would know the preamble of the Constitution.
Didn't he run for VP or something? Wasn't he
Yeah, with Clinton.
Oh, he was okay.
He was Clinton's running mate. So actually, at the beginning of the Declaration of Independence, we were endowed by our Creator to hold certain rights, which include life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and other rights. The Creator is right there. That word is right there, and he actually used the word Creator, saying that's obscene, that's ridiculous.
God.
Our rights come from the government.
Yeah,
that's completely the opposite of everything that we believe as Americans. That's what differentiates us from everyone else.
Right.
But there's this contempt for Christianity.
Yeah.
And so to say that the Christianity is the evil guy, it's that they did to only see them in the context of the Crusades, in the context of the Inquisition, things of this nature. It's like to see a beautiful woman, but all you see of her is her derriere, and not the pretty place of the derriere. Right. As Dennis Prager called it, the proctologist view of a beautiful woman. And it's because everyone has a very ugly part, at least down there, right? Yeah. And that's the way of the world, and that's the way they see it. They don't see the beauty in what Christianity has given us, what Judaism has given us, what Western civilization and America has given us. They don't see that at all.
Yeah.
They want to hate you.
Yeah.
And the reason why they want to hate you and why they're quietly celebrating this death of Charlie Kirk is he got it. He got what's coming to him.
Yeah. And
there's a sense of that. I think they're quietly celebrating it.
Oh, there's TikToks already of them celebrating.
Oh, okay.
They do not hide. They are so demonically possessed that I don't think they have any ability to stop themselves from being like giddy with horrible things and actually causing horrible things.
And look, you're right about what you said about people taking glee in this. I mean, it wasn't too hard to find just going on X. People saying great things about the fact that Charlie Kirk was killed.
Yeah.
This one schmuck, her name is Leslie Smithson.
Yeah.
She writes, "Whoever shot Charlie Kirk, thank you," and then two applause, clap signs. It's just awful. And then she writes, "Bleeding from the neck, LMFAO," which is laughing my fat ass off. I guess she's making reference to the girl that was killed in the subway.
Or no, actually, this is something the one person I told didn't think this was significant. The girl on the subway was stabbed in her right artery in her neck.
Right.
Charlie Kirk was shot in his left artery on his neck. It's a weird parallel. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think that is kind of a coincidence. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
But we love Devin. So we're thinking about firing Devin now. Anyway, there's another one. Libs of TikTok points out Shelly Harmon, a nurse at Mercy Hospital in Oklahoma, made a post celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and wants to start a GoFundMe for the shooter.
Oh, God.
Not that they found him yet, but
Yeah.
they will. This person takes care of people at a hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. And to look at her her photos is, she just looks like the classic liberal loony.
Yeah.
There she is. She's Shelly Harmon.
Oh, yeah.
So,
she definitely looks like she's.
yeah. Right. Anyway, one person did correctly say, so listen to what they call her Pharmahontas, but I think they Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Right. Reacts to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Let's listen in what she has to say.
This is just wrong, and my heart goes out to his family, to his friends, but we just cannot be a country that turns to violence when we disagree. We just can't.
What can Congress do about it, Senator?
Well, one thing Congress can do is gun safety, and every time there's a killing, the Republicans say this is not the time to talk about gun safety, and yet we have to. As a nation, we have more gun deaths than most other nations, and we don't keep our children, our friends, our neighbors safe by just putting ordinary gun safety rules in place.
Okay, so that I don't want to play the entire clip because she's just going to keep on talking about that.
Right.
So it's interesting. What would Charlie Kirk himself say? He was killed
Yeah.
buy a gun,
Yeah.
would he say, you know what, I'm all turned around on this subject now. I'm for gun control, because this would have stopped the gunman. He wouldn't say that.
No.
He himself, we know that. His wife,
Yeah.
Erica,
Right.
will not say, I'm for gun control.
No.
Those libs got it right. Of course not.
No.
It's this sort of madness in thinking. This is the kind of thing that actually leads to more deaths. So you were so against gun control that I'm going to shoot you.
Right.
That's nuts. This is the thinking. Anyway, time and time again, you see people saying how they want to make, they're happy about Charlie Kirk dying.
Yeah.
There's just thousands of them. These people are shameless.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through it. That's all I've been doing. I can't do, all day long. But this is one thing that from the Red Line Report, this is a tweet, conservative one.
Yeah.
And they said something very wise. They just made 1 million more Charlie Kirks.
Yeah.
His spirit will dominate all else. And then he says, if Charlie Kirk had an impact on your life in any way, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, he's right. This is making a lot more Charlie Kirks.
Yeah.
And saying, you know what? You've really made it clear to me who the nuts are in our political system. And it ain't us.
Right.
It's you guys.
Yeah.
And to the extent that you are a Democrat or a moderate even, kind of leaning, sometimes voting a Democrat, sometimes, it depends on the person. I think this moment is bringing clarity to a lot of people.
Yeah.
What say you?
100%. I think the thing that I think exemplifies what you just said was when Darth Vader in Star Wars,
Here we go.
The original one, like 1980 or 1979, talked to Princess Leia right before he blew up Princess Leia's planet. And she said, the more planets you try to reach into your grasp, the more will come out through your fingers.
Right.
You cannot you kill him and you make him a martyr. I will be in 50 years, if I'm still on this earth,
Right.
or let's say 30 years when I'm still on this earth, we'll still be talking about Charlie Kirk. He will still have an impact on me. I will still remember, it was because of a text of you when I heard about this. And that whole day, and that's something that conservatives are going to have forever.
That's right. Although I will say, from a Star Wars point of view, when you started talking about that, most people listening would say, why don't you just point to the example of when Obi-Wan Kenobi says, if you strike me down, I shall be more powerful than ever before.
Okay, so that's why you have the name on the
That was
podcast.
a miss.
That was a miss. That was you cleaned it up though.
Yeah. I think I did.
I'll edit that out and then be like, oh no, it's from this thing from me, not from Barak.
But it's true. Like you strike him down, and they did strike him down horribly. And what an asset Charlie Kirk would be to continue on with him. But his legacy will be very powerful.
Yeah.
Andrew Breitbart, who died merely of a heart attack, his legacy was extraordinary. Charlie's will be even more. And yes, I think like Martin Luther King. Okay, I do think that from a conservative standpoint, we had a voice. We wanted to share love of God, love of family, love of America, love of Christianity and Judaism, love of civilization itself.
Yeah.
That's what we stood for, the 10 Commandments, and we were silenced. And for that, we should always invoke Charlie Kirk in the same way that we invoke Martin Luther King.
Absolutely. And this was done in front of, I believe, thousands of university students.
Yeah.
They're not going to forget this moment.
Yeah.
The ones who are Democrats, who are going to actually fight against him, the crazy ones, having witnessed that, I think there will be conversions.
Yeah. There will be a lot of conversions. I remember in January 6th, for example, some Republicans called me up saying, "Oh, I'm going to vote Democrat now." Okay. So, but that was kind of like, what is the seat of your pants moment thinking.
Yeah.
But I think many Democrats will say the reason why I registered as a Republican is what I saw with what happened to Charlie Kirk on the heels of 2 attempts on the life of President Trump.
Yeah.
And they said, enough is enough. People want to silence voices. That's not my America.
No.
The America I believe in is, I may hate what you have to say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it.
Yeah.
I don't believe they actually believe it,
Never.
but they like the concept.
Yeah.
They appreciate the concept. And there are some serious moderate Democrats, I think well-reasoning Democrats, maybe naive Democrats, that get it. And they'll say something has gone awry.
Yeah.
The Republicans, like you said, have been consistent throughout history.
Yeah.
The message has always been the same.
Right.
We've never been pro-slavery. On the contrary, we started off being anti-slavery. That was the very premise of our party. And we're always about America and the freedom.
Yeah.
That's who we are. But the Democrats, like with my colleague on News Nation, really fancied herself to be the party of peace, the party of understanding. Well, that's what you tell yourself over and over again. But at the same breath, you say, go out there and attack people, get in their face, kick them out of your restaurants, be angry with them, reap the whirlwind. Where do you think that was going?
Yeah.
So, yes, no doubt the sharpshooter, to the extent that he was acting alone, would be a madman, probably on some sort of, schizophrenic pills or whatever it is. That would be the easy answer. Right. Mentally ill. Okay. There's a possibility that something else was going on.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not saying that it's a deep government conspiracy, but it could be that other people worked with him. They said, hey, look, we'll call him Billy Bob. Okay. Billy Bob, the shooter. We don't know his name. He's crazy. Let's give him a lot of money, or let's give him a lot of promises, one way or the other. And if he succeeds in killing Charlie Kirk, you'll get a lot of money.
Yeah.
We'll give you all the supplies you need. You're a sharpshooter. You know what you're doing. Right. Do it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that happen?
Yeah.
People have killed for far less in the past. All you need, I'm not even talking about a huge group of people. I'm just saying some really crazy minded people saying, let's use this shooter as our instrument of death, and we'll get rid of him.
Right.
Why is that crazy?
Yeah.
Just because it's a famous person who was the victim?
Yeah.
People do it all the time.
Right.
Wives kill their husbands and vice versa, and they plot it out one way or the other. Why can't it be happening here?
Right.
I don't know. We just don't know enough information. But one thing I think we can rule out was that this guy was a conservative.
Yeah.
I don't think he was celebrating. Yay, let's go. Oh, oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kill you. I wasn't aiming for you at all.
Right.
With this scope or anything else. It just so happened that I killed you. I'm so sorry. No, we know those two. We can rule those out.
Right.
Okay. Anything else is possible.
Yeah.
And the two things that the realistic two things are the gunman was a crazy person.
Right.
Who just got into his head all this language, the fascist language, the dictatorship language, just, went to town with that.
Right.
Thought he was saving the world by ridding the world of Charlie Kirk, at least, if he couldn't do with Trump. Or something more sinister.
Right.
Who knows? But I'm sure that you have some thoughts on that.
Absolutely. I do. And it has to be someone who has a certain degree of training that's specialized. Yeah. Beyond basics training, it must be some kind of sniper school or doing it homegrown, but that's a different thing. And it's really shocking that with so many cameras, with so many cell phones, that no one really had a picture of it. There was one guy they thought, why? They haven't just, why did they arrest that guy? Was he screaming something? Had they identified him before? Or was he making such a commotion that, like a rodeo clown, everyone was distracted by the shooter? There's so many questions. And like when it happened to him, like no information has come from that.
Yeah.
And I hope information comes from this, that we actually know who is behind it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to, something horrific happened.
Yeah.
The facts speak for themselves. There was a murder. This was an assassination. Something happened. It was clearly intentional.
Yeah.
Now we just need to go to see how far back the intention goes.
Yeah.
All right. There is related news. Everything is related in one way or the other. Look, big news that's happening is that Israel took out the Hamas leadership in Doha, Qatar.
Nice. Oh, wow. Actually in Qatar.
Yeah, in Qatar.
Oh, wow.
So We now know that Trump supported the attack, or at least at the very least said, "Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
I'm not going to give you money to do it. I won't actually fight alongside you
Right.
as he did with the Iran war." But he supported it.
Yeah.
But isn't that awful and wrong? It's the leadership, after all. No, these are the cowards that orchestrated October 7 and then hid in Qatar for safety.
Yeah.
And they're not negotiating in good faith.
No.
These people who are supposedly working out this deal, working out a peace arrangement. They have no interest in that. They're just buying time, and they always stall for time. They always pretend that they are just around the corner of getting a deal.
Right.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's just, it's so close. But they will never agree to the ultimate, which is to release all the hostages and surrender all of Hamas.
Right.
They won't do that. So Israel said, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
You're all in Qatar. We're going to kill you.
I'll say, yeah.
And now, this is separately from Israel Hayom, which means Israel today.
Yeah.
Qatar, very upset over Israel targeting terrorist leaders that they had been sheltering. Like, what do you think this is going to happen? And Qatar called it a betrayal by Israel. Like, how dare you kill the very people that were negotiating?
Good sir.
Yeah. Perhaps Qatar should reconsider giving aid and comfort and lavish lifestyles to these Hamas leaders, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Qatar claimed it was an attack on their buildings. No, I don't think they're interested in getting the buildings in Qatar, right? The Israelis. It's an attack on the men that you've been hiding in lavish hotels.
Right.
You give them sanctuary and then wonder why they've been attacked. I mean,
Yeah.
Anyway, Trump's response was awesome. He said, that's cool. Go ahead and do it.
Oh, yeah.
There's two related stories here. Meanwhile, Israel is pursuing Gaza City, which is the apparent last stronghold of Hamas. I think Hamas still controls like 40% of it.
Yeah.
As I may have mentioned before, I have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
Shall we say that I have a direct relative of mine
Yeah.
in the IDF.
Yeah.
And my concern is very great for him. And I love him. And but I know that Israel is doing what it needs to do. He is in harm's way. But it just has to be done.
Yeah. So,
I'm not speaking from afar and have no connection to this at all. I understand sacrifices. As a father, it's very painful.
Yeah.
It's very hard. But I'm proud of Israel for doing what it has to do.
Yeah.
This is a funny story. Israel takes out the Hamas leadership. Reports. There's AP reports that a Hezbollah terrorist, because it's AP, right? So it's very liberal. Do you remember the beeper attack?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So one of these terrorists, it's a terrible human story.
Yeah.
He can no longer play soccer.
Oh God.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Why? Because he was one of the pager attack survivors.
Right.
Right. The Newswire story doesn't mention that the United States has designated Hezbollah as a terrorist organization for nearly 30 years, but who's counting?
Yeah.
But it really is historical. They want you to leave the article thinking like, won't someone think of the poor Hezbollah terrorist fighters? Like,
always,
dude,
yeah.
If you didn't want to get hurt, then maybe you shouldn't have been a terrorist. How about that?
Right. Yeah.
They want all the fun of blowing up Israelis.
Oh God.
And while at the same time, outraged that Israel would defend itself.
Right.
And they actually push the story as a human interest story.
Yeah.
This poor guy, like it's almost like an NPR thing, like meet Abdul. He was a victim of the beeper attack of the Israelis, celebrated by the Israelis. Yeah. And they're probably cut to the Israelis, with their arms in the air, having killed. But Abdul doesn't think so. Tell me about your life. It is terrible. One of the things I love to do is play soccer. What you call soccer, football, whatever. Right. Yeah. So and now I cannot. Oh, so sorry. Anyway, and you get there's always chickens, clucking in the background in any NPR story. By the way. You notice that.
Oh God, they should actually be investigated because what are their ties with Hamas, a terrorist organization, that they are so pro Hamas?
Yes.
They really should be questioned asked by our FBI.
Yes. Oh, exactly right. Meanwhile, your girl, Greta,
Greta.
she claims that there was a drone attack on her flotilla
Yeah.
that she was trying to bring toward Israel. Tunisian authorities called the reports of such a drone strike off of its coast completely unfounded. It was totally BS.
Like global warming?
Yeah. As it turns out, the blaze began among the boat's life jackets, possibly due to a cigarette.
Oh, God.
Yes, I like that. It's totally bogus. Greta, go back to global warming.
Yeah.
People. I guess it's fair. People don't take you seriously anymore.
Yeah.
They've asked you to move on, and you have, and you chose this. Anyway, how do you feel about your crush now, Devin?
Oh, yeah.
And you were, you were all at Twitter about her new haircut. You were
yeah.
very excited about
Yeah.
that.
Seriously. I love her with bangs.
But seriously, who told her to get this haircut? You would think that she would have enough notoriety, some GoFundMe page just to get a good haircut.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, who knows what she needs, right? I mean, I presume she has a family that actually supports her, so she doesn't really need money.
Right.
But apparently, she needs enough money to get a good haircut, because I can't abide.
Yeah.
I just can't. Okay.
Maybe that's the only way, though. Like, okay, let's say she goes in and starts talking with Hamas. They listen to women.
Oh,
They're
good
respectful
point.
of women.
Yeah.
Like, Israel was saving her life by preventing her from going there.
I know.
I can't see anything good happening to her physically if she actually goes there.
Oh, yeah. Why don't Israel say, look, we'll give you an option.
Yeah.
We're telling you what we think is going to happen. We're quite convinced it's going to happen. If you go to Gaza and want to kind of cavort with your friends that you perceive to be your erstwhile friends, then go ahead. But we think that you're going to be raped and mutilated and probably dismembered. We just think that.
The
okay?
odds are probably
we think,
80-20.
We think that's very high odds.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you want to go there, we will certainly escort you there. No problem at all.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say, Greta?
Yeah.
And leave it to her. I think she will understand.
Should say, "How dare you?"
That's it. I like that. That's like her ongoing thing. It's like it's a meme. How dare you?
Yeah.
That's actually very funny.
And that's one of the things with Israel, where doing right called wrong, blamed wrong, and then you're setting it up so Israel's the bad person preventing, or the bad entity preventing a woman from being harmed. And it consistently happens.
Oh, it's disgusting.
It makes no sense except, I don't know.
Okay, so a recent poll on values, and Charlie Kirk was actually talking about this just yesterday, I think. So a poll came out from NBC News with the importance of marriage for a successful life among young people.
Yeah.
And here's what they found. The essence of it, without drilling too much on it. They did, here's an order of preference of things, such as marriage, having children, being financially secure, having a career, being emotionally stable, things like this.
Yeah.
And what they found is that among those who voted for Trump, a very large percentage said, I want marriage and family first.
Right.
Okay. And family means kids. Career came second. And oddly enough, it was more so among the men, the young men, the conservative men, presumably, who voted for Trump. They really prioritized marriage and having kids.
Right.
Like, wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
And the women, even the conservative women, they still prioritized that much more than the liberal woman did.
Right.
But it's really fascinating. So let me just go on a little bit more. Female Harris supporters didn't even make the top 10 with regard to marriage.
Gee, oh wow, that's a
let alone kids.
Yeah.
Marriage was the 11th most important thing, and children the 12th important thing.
Oh God.
Second to last. Number one for Gen Z women who voted for Harris was having a job or career you find fulfilling, quote unquote. And number two was having enough money to do the things that you want to do. Okay? Conversely, Gen Z men who voted for Trump rated having children as the most important. Okay, that's what I just said. Young female Harris voters also ranked emotional stability as the third most important thing. I mean, men don't think in terms of emotional stability.
No.
You know, that's not even their repertoire. But all the same, isn't that fascinating?
Or doesn't it contradicts itself? Having a job that's fulfilling generally doesn't give you a bunch of money that you can do every traveling and all the things you want to do, nor does it give you emotional stability.
Right.
You kind of have to pick one. And men know that. And they're saying, family's the thing I'm going to prioritize. And then everything after that is for the family, which will be fulfilling.
You know who's really big on this topic?
Who?
Charlie Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what
He
Charlie
really
Kirk
was with
he
Eric
was
and
super,
the
and,
kid-
thank
yeah.
God for him. Charlie Kirk said this about this poll. This is a pattern that I've seen time and time on these college campuses where young men are ordering their life correctly. They want to first and foremost have children, get married, and then have a nice job or to be able to travel. If you look deeper into this data, it's completely consistent with other data we've seen the past couple of years. Young women, they don't value having children, and this is one of the reasons why we are seeing a fertility collapse in the West.
Yeah.
Spot friggin' on.
Yeah.
Okay, we've told these women that having children and getting married is patriarchal. It's not worth it. You should delay it. Get your career first. What a freaking mistake.
Yeah.
You know, I love my mom. She's just amazing.
Yeah.
And she's conservative, but she had advised, because she felt that she had gotten married too early.
Right.
She advised my two sisters to not even think about getting married until they're at least 30 years old.
And that worked out perfectly, right?
It did not work out.
Oh.
It did not work out.
All of them had children?
They had children.
Oh, that's good.
But not too many.
Okay.
And it was difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, ladies, do not do this to yourselves. I'm telling you, from a fertility point of view, you really go over a cliff after 30, 31.
Right.
It is just, I see it time and time again. Young women saying, oh, I'm going to wait until I'm 31 and then I meet a nice man. It's the same playbook.
Yeah.
And I feel like that the bridge has gone out. Visual, if you like. This is something that happened, I think, in Missouri, where there was a bridge. Half of the bridge had gone out,
Oh, wow.
but it was a bridge that was arced in such a way
Right.
that if you were entering onto the part of the bridge that was not knocked out, you wouldn't know that the other half of the bridge had been knocked out.
Wow. Okay.
Had collapsed, actually.
Yeah.
And so these cars kept on going over
Oh, man.
this other half, they're all plummeting to their death.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking a lot of these women are like that.
Yeah.
But this should not be hard to just check out with other women. How did that work out for you?
Right.
Having a child or trying to have a child at 34.
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Right.
Oh, you said you say you had problems? What a shocker. And you had to go to fertility clinics and sperm donations and that's what you have to do? I don't want that.
No.
If I were a woman, I'd just looking ahead into the future a little bit, and you've got plenty of data now, you'd say, I don't want to be like those women.
No.
I better think about getting married when I'm 25.
Right.
That should be my full-time job, is to find a great man, date to marry.
Right.
And Charlie Kirk was very big about that too.
Yeah.
Date to marry.
Right.
Do not date just to have fun. You are wasting your time. Date to have a fulfilling relationship with an eye toward marriage to that man.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll have the same sentiment as you do.
Right.
And tell him straight up, I'm looking to marry.
Right.
I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what this poll is all saying.
Yeah.
And it explains the fertility crisis. It explains everything that we're seeing. Okay. We are going to collapse within ourselves if we keep this momentum. And Charlie Kirk was warning that.
Right.
And he was saying it to everyone on these campuses. God bless him for doing that. But if that Twitter feed is correct and saying that indeed we're creating 1 million new Charlie Kirks, great.
Yeah.
May his death not be in vain. I don't think it's going to be in vain.
Yeah.
I think a tremendous growth in conservatism is going to happen. That's cold comfort for his wife and his 2 beautiful kids. I get that. But there is some comfort in the future.
Right.
This is a horrific day for her and for her kids. Horrific.
Yeah.
The horror will continue on for months and probably years to come.
Right.
But at some point, she will say, at the very least, Charlie's voice was so powerful. And people will come to her and say, thank you for Charlie.
Right.
she will be the spokeswoman for Charlie in many ways. Great things hopefully will come. Do not let this death happen in vain, Erica. That's his wife's name. In many ways, the tragedy, it makes me think of what happened on October 7.
Yeah.
To 1,200 Israelis, 250 taken hostage.
Yeah.
It was such a horrific day. But Israel, don't let their lives have been taken in vain.
Yeah.
And so far, Israel is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They are wiping out Hamas. This is the moment. We've wiped out Hezbollah in the north. We've basically wiped out Hamas. We've wiped out Iran. We've wiped out the Houthis. We're taking them out as well. There's a new Middle East, a brewing.
Yeah.
And it's a good one. And we just need to keep up the momentum. Tragically, what happened on October 7 has led to great things. The tragedy of October 7 has led to great things. Things have not been in vain.
Right. And just to add to that.
I'm just one
sorry.
part.
Yeah.
Please keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Had Israel done nothing
Yeah.
to that and say, well, look, let's try to negotiate the hostages back. We'll give you more power. We'll negotiate this. That would have been a horrific loss.
Right.
In vain. But the 1,200 victims, as brutal as their deaths were, hopefully they're seeing what's happening and they're saying, good. Israel is stronger than ever. It is making mincemeat of their enemies, and we may have peace in the Middle East.
I hope so.
Anyway, your thought.
And just to bring it back to Charlie, and that was such a great way to end it, but you said that 1 million Charlie Kirks could come. With the Hebrew word, one of my favorite words, dayenu, maybe just 1 million kids, maybe 1 million families.
Right.
Could be so
Well said.
much if we all keep that. And may Israel bring peace to the Middle East and to the entire world.
Right.
Because we really need it.
Yeah. There's something about this whole concept of things happening in vain or not.
Yeah.
So, look, we had some horrific stuff happen, starting with Obama.
Right. Oh, God, yeah.
He gave us terrible things. He really incited all these race riots. He encouraged it while having a very nice smile and speaking articulately.
Yeah.
But in reality, he really stoked the fires. He what's that Billy Joel song? We didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, well, in a way, I'm glad that Romney didn't win the 2012 election.
Yeah.
I'm glad. And in a way, I'm glad that Trump didn't win the 2020 election, although I think he did win it.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the presidency, let's put it that way. And I'm glad that things are the way they are right now, because the country is so sick of what happened.
Yeah.
With the drug cartels, the sex trafficking and everything else. It got so bad, they got to the point where we said, dayenu, as it were. And we're going to change these.
Yeah.
We're going to change everything now, and we're going to go back to an America as we believe it, creating Charlie Kirks everywhere, and possibly bringing women back into the fold and understanding that it is a wonderful thing to be a woman, to be a mother, to be part of the PTA.
Yeah.
That's the glory. You cannot. It's just there's a huge difference, and this is a sidetrack, I know, but if I were to make, I don't know, $20 million, work really hard, make $20 million, that to me would be a great accomplishment. Woo! Yeah. That's fantastic. And I would think to myself, great, I'm going to provide for my family. We're going to have some great vacations. It's going to be great. I'm going to give a lot of money, charity and such like that.
Yeah.
A woman doing the same thing, she can have $20 million and she'll never feel happy.
No.
If she doesn't have any kids, her life will be empty.
Yeah.
I think a man should also feel the same way, in that way, but it's especially so for a woman.
Right.
There's something innate in most women. I'm not saying 100%, but I would say 95% of women.
Yeah.
They have this innate need to procreate.
Yeah.
To give life. That's their superpower, as they say. And we're taking that away and making them feel as if they're horrible people for wanting to be a mother, when that's the essence of who they are.
Yeah.
That's what a woman is.
Yeah.
Definition of woman and all that crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I talk about in vain and such.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, we may have that in Mamdani. Okay?
Yeah.
It's looking more and more like Eric Adams is not going to bow out of the race, which means that Mamdani, since there's no runoff election in New York, believe me, I Googled that.
Oh, God.
And it means that he'll win.
Oh, God.
And by a lot at that point. The only chance of Mamdani losing is if Eric Adams and the Republican, I forget, what's his name? The guardian angel guy, whatever his name is. If they both bow out and leave it only to Andrew Cuomo to become mayor, there's a shot.
Right.
There's a shot. And even then, it's not secure. So it's an interesting dynamic that's going on. But, okay, so what that means is Mamdani will be the socialist mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Now, he's way ahead of his three rivals, but his lead would diminish considerably. Yeah, we just talked about that. Interesting, because you look at even the left, the media. This is on CNN. Abby Phillips, who I actually like. I think she's very poignant and she's fair-minded. She's good. She's got Mamdani in the studio, and here's what she challenges him on.
The United States, you have benefited from this country. This is what your critics say. But you don't support the system, the economic system that perhaps you benefited from. Is that right?
I love this country, and I'm also a New Yorker who has loved this city. And one of the things that I love most about the city are its parks. And its parks, and the Parks Department was founded by a socialist mayor of New York City, Fiorello LaGuardia. These are all parts of the same story. And the idea to simplify it as if a critique of capitalism is to be un-American, it speaks to a lack of understanding of the breadth of our history.
Okay, so that's nuts. I mean, she really gives a very solid question.
Yeah.
It's capitalism that made you enjoy the benefits that you're now enjoying, and now explain yourself.
Right.
And he doesn't answer the question. He talks about parks. So because what's his name, LaGuardia, who was a socialist, advanced parks, therefore that applies to, we should get rid of the entire capitalist structure of America?
Yeah.
No one says that having parks is inconsistent with capitalism.
Right.
You do, but we don't. I don't even know where to begin with this idiot. Okay, but he's going to win.
Yeah.
So look, I say, bring it on.
Right.
Bring it on. What's the expression? Somebody says that the telltale sign of democracy is that in democracy, you get what you vote for, good and hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really true.
Yeah.
I don't know who quoted it. It's not me, but you get what you vote for, good and hard.
Yeah.
And New Yorkers, if they vote for him, they're going to get what they voted for.
Right.
Okay. You want socialism? You're going to get socialism. Okay. Surprise. And I don't think you'll like it.
No.
And everyone's going to flee New York, at least the heavy hitters in business. And then they're going to be very surprised to wonder, hey, where did all the money go?
Yeah.
Let's tax the rich to get it. Okay, well, the rich are gone, so
Yeah.
I guess we can't tax them anymore. What do you think? What do you think was going to happen? Anyway, let them have it good and hard.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what I think would be great is if we look back on Mamdani as a cautionary tale forever. And because he'll collapse the city.
Oh yeah.
He'll one of two things will happen. Either it'll be so ineffective he won't be able to get anything done, but because of that, he won't get the public transport system, the grocery stores and everything like that. But it will have no leadership, and that will completely collapse New York City.
Right.
Or he will succeed in doing that, which will in turn collapse the city.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to do now, Moses, as they said, right, in the Ten Commandments? So, and then he'll be voted out. They'll have some very sensible New Yorker, a conservative.
Yeah.
And it'll be like Giuliani all over again.
Yeah.
And then the cycle will begin repeat every 40 years or so. That's the way it works.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because they just, this population of New Yorkers has grown up not knowing Joseph, as it were.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to get this and learn it the hard way, get it good and hard.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My hat's off to you guys.
It's a bold choice.
It's your problem, not
Yeah.
mine. Okay, I don't live in New York. Okay, I don't think
Thank
it's going to
God.
collapse the financial system. By the way, I
No.
think that's a little bit of alarmism going on there. But people are very upset about it. This, according to the New York Times, wealthy New York developers call for a meeting to plot Mamdani's defeat.
Yeah.
So, but watch the words in the New York Times. Like this is something nefarious.
Yeah.
We're plotting. You see them tenting their hands as they're trying to destroy Mamdani. Some of New York's largest landlords will convene on Tuesday morning for an urgent gathering to support former Governor Andrew M. Cuomo, saying the time to act is now. Oh, those diabolical landlords.
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
plotters. That's what they are. Oh, we hate them so much.
Yeah.
Why won't they just embrace socialism like the rest of us good guys?
Yeah.
Right?
Give up your property to us. Yeah.
So anyway, like I say, let it be.
Yeah.
This is what they want. Give it to them.
Yeah.
Don't stop them from their stupidity.
Yeah.
This is the end. Anyway, I did want to leave on an important topic.
Yeah.
And last week I talked about fakes, how we're living in a world of fakes. I gave examples of how AI is allowing people to live in a fake world, people with fake backgrounds and their fake in Zoom backgrounds, that
Right.
is, and then fake backgrounds in their dating profiles. I gave many examples of the fake lives that we lead,
Right.
fake emails, fake imposters of all kinds, catfishing, and so on. And, one of the things I really wanted to, add on to that is that we're willing to be faked out.
Yeah.
We don't mind being faked out.
Completely. Yeah.
And remember that last phrase that I've just said, because that's important. But it's also about relationship with fake bots.
Right.
For example, as was revealed, or should I say, was exposed somewhat notoriously in the famous Twitter sale.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you don't know if you're arguing or discussing things with a real person.
No.
But that doesn't matter, I guess, because people love fake relationships. Right? They have relationships with AI girlfriends and boyfriends.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Yeah.
talked about this in my book, Rise of the Sex Machines and Atheism Destroys.
Right.
And then there are the sex robots themselves. Everything is fake.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We lie to ourselves about Islam, which
Yeah.
is a form of its own fake.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that its tenets are all noble and good. We lie to ourselves that transgendered people are just simply trapped in these bodies and they just want to live a healthy life and they're not mentally unstable. We
Right.
lie to ourselves that marijuana is fine.
Yeah.
It will not lead to disastrous consequences of society.
Completely. Yeah. Yeah.
And Islam is just as good as Christians and Jews in every way.
Right.
They're all the same. We pretend that terrorism is an equal opportunity killer.
Right.
Right? It comes from all religions and nationalities alike. No, it's just not. Or telling that kids that they're special when they're not special.
Right.
At least not yet. We start the lies with them early.
Yeah.
It's all about the fakes at the end of days. And this is, I think, going back to what we began off in this little segment, it really relates to, that we're all willing to be faked out.
Right.
We like being faked out.
Yeah.
It's like that song, Lie to Me,
Yeah.
Tell Me Sweet Little Lies, right?
Oh,
From
tell me
Fleetwood Mac,
lies.
right?
Tell me lies. Yeah. Yeah.
And Sheryl Crow sang a song also, Lie to Me, I promise I'll believe.
Right.
Okay. There, it's not just a quip of a line. People really do want to believe lies.
Right.
And that's, I think, what Charlie Kirk was really fighting.
Yeah.
He was fighting the lies that were being pushed on us.
Yeah.
And what that also meant is that you had to work to expose those lies, to unravel them.
Yeah.
But there is that word, work.
Right.
And people don't like to work.
No.
People want to be told what to believe. They don't want to come to their own conclusions of what is just and right.
Right.
Especially if that involves studying and being in a relationship where you have to work at things.
Yeah.
The idea of a family, that means work.
Yeah.
The idea of having kids, that means work.
Sacrifice, discipline.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Having a job means literally work.
Yeah.
And not just a random job, but a job that makes a decent amount of money so that you can provide for your family.
Right.
With a decent apartment at least, even if it's just rentals. You've got to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really bothers people about Charlie Kirk and others like him, but especially Charlie. He spoke to that. And I think for people who got tired of being lied to, he really resonated to them.
Yeah.
And that's why they said, yeah, I want to be a dad. I want to be a good husband. I want to provide. I want to be part of Americans' greatness.
Right.
He woke that in people. But to many others, they resented it.
Yeah.
They could not abide by the undiscovered country, as Shakespeare famously called it.
Nice.
The great unknown. Because at this point, sadly, having a family, having children, being responsible for them, loving America, loving God, that's the undiscovered country.
Yeah.
That's the radical notion right now. That's how far we've gone. And Charlie brought that back.
Yeah.
Or at least he was bringing it back. And the assassin, he didn't like it.
No.
And all those people on Twitter, and we just saw not even the tip of the iceberg of people who wanted him destroyed.
Yeah.
That's the life. That's where we are right now, folks. Anyway, I'll say this about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a friend of mine. I love Charlie Kirk. Charlie, I'll always remember you. I've enjoyed our exchanges. Thank you for having me on your show. The laughs that we had during that time. I've known you for many years now, and I thank you for the great gifts you've given so many of us. You were half my age, but
wow,
what an extraordinary man you were. If only we could all wish for sons like you.
Yeah.
I have great kids too. I've got two great boys, but you're a great model for them to be just like. Use Charlie Kirk as a model, my friends, to raise your boys. You'll get somewhere. That will mean that his life was not in vain.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm Barak Lurie signing off saying, God bless, be strong, and we'll talk with you next week.